It is about 45 here right now, 45 degrees Fahrenheit. It's real wet. The feels like temperature is about 40, so it's pretty chilly out here this morning, and it's just gonna get a little bit colder. It's supposed to dip to about 30 here in the next 2 or 3 days. Right now, these animals, they've about 95% of them, I would say, I mean, I got 2 cattle out there right now chewing on grass. I got 1 animal standing in the barn, and then I got 1 animal standing right here. But the rest of them, a majority of these animals have been grain trained. So when they see me coming up with the grain feed, they come running in, and they'll come running in by themselves when they see me coming in with the food. And so grain training has gone good. These animals, they are eating the peanut hay. They know what the peanut hay is at this point. And so they are eating the peanut hay. So starting tomorrow, I am going to put these animals on a peanut hay commodity corn ration with a 2-to-1 calcium phosphorus mineral pack that has Altocid in it. So starting tomorrow, I am going to take the creep feed away. So right now, these animals are being fed a ration of creep feed and peanut hay. But starting tomorrow, I'm going to change out their diet for a commodity corn peanut hay 2-to-1 calcium phosphorus ratio mineral pack that has Altocid in it. And right now, the reason, okay, so grain training, the reason that I changed these animals over to a creep feed instead of feeding them commodity corn, the first day that they were here, I fed them commodity corn, and these animals, a lot of them didn't know what it was, and a few animals that they figured out that they really liked it, and so they just swallowed mouthfuls of it. They just ate a whole bunch of corn, and then a lot of these animals didn't eat jack squat. And so I was having acidosis issues, and I was also having a lot of animals not eating at all. And so that is why I changed out the grain portion of their diet from a commodity corn to a creep feed. Because this creep feed, even if these animals want to eat it quickly, they can't. The pellets, I use a 3/8 inch creep feed. And the 3/8 inch creep feed, the pellets are too hard and they're too large for these animals to just swallow mouthfuls of them. And so that is why I changed them out for a creep feed. But starting tomorrow, I have these animals grain trained. When they see me coming in with the feed, they come running up here. And so starting tomorrow, I'm going to change out the creep feed for a commodity corn again. And I'm going to mix the commodity corn in with the peanut hay. And then I'm going to give them a 2-to-1 calcium phosphorus ratio. And it's got all the other little minerals in it, like copper and selenium and magnesium and all that stuff in it. And it's also got Altocid in it. And so starting tomorrow, I'm going to change up their diet. But as of right now, the grain training has gone well. I still got that 1 sick animal in the barn right there. I'm surprised she's still alive. But that's the thing about these Brangus animals, is that they are very hardy animals. But I don't know if she's gonna make it. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if she's gonna make it. Last night, while she was laying there in the barn, I gave her I stuck the tube back out down her throat. I tubed her again. I put some electrolyte solution into a tube feeder, and I got on top of her, and I just stuck the tube in her and gave her a 2.5. She only took about 2.5 pints of the electrolyte solution, but I gave her 2.5 pints of it. Her eyeballs are starting to sink into her head. She's not looking good. She's still breathing real heavy. I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do. But yesterday I gave her some more electrolyte solution in the evening. I'm just gonna have to see how she does on that. But here in 2 days, it's supposed to get real cold. It's supposed to get real cold. It's supposed to drop to about 30. And so the rest of these animals, my big thing is I gotta keep the animals alive. That is the hard part right now, is to keep the animals alive. The hardest thing, you know, a lot of people, they don't want to buy animals in October because of this right here. What you're seeing right in front of you, it's gone from 80 degrees to 40 degrees. It's supposed to go down to 30 degrees. So there was legitimately a 50-degree temperature swing in like a week. So it went from 80 to about it's going to go to about 30. It's going to go from about 85 to 30, from about 90 to 30. Here in about a week, and we've got like 2 feet of rain, and it's real wet and it's real cold. And yeah, this is why people don't like buying calves in October. But this is also why it's so important to have these animals on a proper vaccination plan and to have a proper antibiotics plan in place. So and a way to you know, monitor the animals very closely to find sick animals and give them the medication very quickly. In terms of a business plan, any time that I have any mistakes, I have to pay out the nose for it. That's one of the very difficult things about owning a business, about running a business, is that if I suck, my results suck. If I do horribly, my results are horrible. And usually when I'm talking about results in terms of business, I'm talking about money. If I do horribly, if I suck, the amount of money that I make sucks. The amount of money that I make is horrible. And so, you know, in these situations where these animals are put in an environment like this, where there's a 60-degree temperature change, if I did not have these animals on a proper diet, they would be suffering from malnutrition at this point, and I would have had a lot of animals come down with BRD. Probably a 30%, 50% of my herd would be sick at this point. But that is also one of the big reasons, you know, I say this all the time, and I've said this repeatedly in my other videos, but it is very important to keep a good handle on what these animals are eating when they're this size, because they cannot eat that much. And so the energy concentration in their diet, the minerals in their diet, the amount of protein in the diet, the amount of feed that they are consuming in terms of total amount of feed that they are consuming, all of that stuff is very important. If I had not grain trained these animals when I did, before, when the weather was still good and I did not get them eating feed, getting them eating a proper amount of feed and the correct type of feed, when the weather was still good, when the weather turned like this, I would have animals getting sick left and right. I would have animals sick all over the place, and I would be hemorrhaging money. I would be losing money so fast. It would be a disaster. And so these animals, you know, I got them on the right feed. The grass is growing in very well. They're also walking around and eating grass. I got them eating the peanut hay. Starting tomorrow, I'm gonna put them on a peanut hay. Okay, so here's the reason that I put them on a, you know, if it's so easy, you know, if the creep feed is going so good, why do I not just feed them creep feed, right? Creep feed cost me it cost me $420. It cost me $12 for a 50-pound sack. So it cost me $480 a ton to purchase creep feed. You know, feeding these animals creep feed, it almost cost me $200 over just the past 3 days. So I've been spending almost $70 a day on just creep feed. But if I put these animals on a commodity type corn and I mix it with a peanut hay, and then I put a 2-to-1 calcium phosphorus ratio mineral pack in their feed, that costs me about $215 a ton. It cost me about half. It cost me less than half. And so my feed costs go from about $70 a day to about $30. And here's also the thing, is that these animals here, they're also eating the grass. And so, you know, I'm running these animals, on, you know, in the future, I won't be giving them this much feed. More than likely, I probably will not be giving them this much feed, simply because I want them eating as much grass as possible. Because right now I have so much grass growing in that if I leave the grass here for about 3 to 4 more weeks, the grass is going to go to seed. And once the grass puts on seed and the seed drops, the grass will die forever. And the seed will have to restart. And the thing about the grass is, okay, so I'm growing a hybrid ryegrass, or excuse me, I'm growing a hybrid wheat. If the hybrid wheat puts on a seed and the seed drops on the ground, I am not going to get a uniform crop of the hybrid seed. It's going to be like a massive mix of the genetic pool in terms of the wheat genetics. And so the forage quality is not going to be as good. There will likely be, you know, volunteer wheat is known for having a lot of disease issues, is known for having a lot of pest issues. And so I really want to be growing the hybrid wheat, because the hybrid wheat has a lot of benefits to it. It grows a lot of biomass per acre. It's got good disease resistance. It's got good pest resistance, etc., etc. And so I don't want to be growing a whole bunch of volunteer wheat on my back field. That's not optimal at all. And so here, you know, in about, I would say in about 3 to 4 days, you know, I could actually probably cut these animals back to just feeding them once a day. And then that will encourage them, instead of feeding them twice a day, I will feed them once a day. And if I feed them once a day, it will make them hungry and it will encourage them to go and eat more grass. And if they're eating grass, it's very cheap for me. You know, at that point, I'd only be spending about $15 a day to feed 60 animals. It only cost me about $15 a day to feed 60 animals. And then these animals can go and eat the grass, and the grass is the feed here that I'm growing myself. And the grass right now, you know, I spend about $600 a month growing the grass. I don't have to put any more seed on it. If I have to put more seed on it, I'll just put more seed on it. But as of right now, it doesn't look like I have to put any more seed on it. It costs me about $600 a month, and it's growing. I grow more feed back there than these animals could possibly ever eat. I mean, if I wanted to graze this grass right here, if I wanted to graze 7 acres of grass, I would need like 120 animals. I would need so many animals on this field that, you know, they would realistically stomp the grass into the ground before they ate all of it. I am growing so much grass back there that the possibility of my animals eating it, all of it, is like zero. I mean, if they were to eat all of it, it would have to be because, you know, it got really dry or it got really hot or something like that. You know, if the weather conditions are somewhat good, 7 acres of grass will feed like 100 animals. I mean, the grass here, the grass grows in so fast, and it grows in so thick, and it's so cheap to grow. When I have grass, I need to be putting as much weight on these animals as I can with the grass. You know, it costs me about $600 a month to feed, you know, 60 animals, and the 60 animals are not even going to be able to eat all of it. And on top of the 60, so it'd be about $10 an animal. And then on top of that, it costs me about $15 a day to feed these animals a ration. So if I feed these animals a ration of something like a peanut hay mixed with a commodity corn, or a soybean hay mixed with a commodity corn, or even something like a corn stalk bale with a distiller grains, or a grass bale with a distiller grains, it would cost me about $15 a day. But that's what I mean by, you know, when I say, you know, oh my God, the $450 a month that it costs me to feed these animals, oh my God, you know, the $600 a month that it costs me to grow the grass, oh my God, this $280 a month that it costs me to purchase these animals, the month, you know, that's like what, $1,250? I'm not worried about the $1,250 a month that it costs me to run my business. But this, you know what, when you know, like when I look at this here, this is a good example of what I worry about. A 60-degree change in the temperature. Are my animals eating enough feed to keep themselves healthy? What is the feed quality going into my animals? Are my animals getting sick? Do I need to give my animals medication? That's the stuff I'm worried about. I'm not worried about the $1,250 a month that I'm spending right now, the $1,500 a month that I'm spending right now to make myself the $110,000 a year. That's not, the $1,500 a month is not what I'm worried about at all. You know, like one thing that I'm looking into realistically doing is that here in about 2 weeks, I probably need to put more fertilizer on the grass. I probably need to put about a month's worth of fertilizer on the grass here in about 2 weeks. That's probably gonna cost me about $600, right? The $600 is not what I'm worried about. You know, what I'm looking at the grass for is what mineral concentrations do I need to put on my field? At what density do I need to put the minerals on the field? You know, how much rain accumulation do I anticipate that I will get? That's the kind of stuff that I'm thinking about. I'm not even considering, like, when I wake up on a daily basis and I come out here, I'm not like, oh my God, how am I going to make the $1,250 a month to run my business? How am I going to make the $1,500 a month to run my business? I don't really care about the $1,500. You know, and this may be a mind-blowing to a lot of people, but the money that I need to run my business comes from my business. You know, the animals that I've sold made me enough money to run this business. So it's not like I even have to go out of my way to find the $1,250. The $1,250 that I need, I made it by running my business. this business makes the money that I need to run this business, and it also puts money in my bank account. And so, I think that a lot of people, I think that that's a concept that a lot of people, it's very hard for them to understand. But me, I put money into things that make me money. So if I put $1 into something and it makes me $2, I would put as many dollars as I can into it, right? And so this business, the $40,000, the $35,000 that I made on my net profit, not gross, the $35,000 of net profit. These animals, like right here, I've got a few $1,000s in my bank account right now. But when I take these animals to market, I'm gonna make thousands of dollars on them. Thousands. I mean, this animal, I've got about 4 animals, roughly this size. I need to go to market as soon as the weather clears up. I'm gonna be taking them to market, and I'll probably come home with another $7,000 check. And then after that, I got another set of 4 animals that need to go to market. When I come home from that, I'll probably make another $7,000 check. So I still got like $15,000 left in my bank account after I've paid for everything. I've already paid for everything. The peanut hay I've already paid for. The corn I've already paid for it. The grass I've already paid for it. The animals, I paid for them on a loan. And I still have like $15,000, $20,000 left over. And so, and that's all money that I've made by running this business. I've made so much money over the last year running my cattle that I've been able to increase the size of my herd from 35 to 50. And I brought in all black animals. Granted that this man that I bought these animals from, I probably never work with him again. I don't really like seeing this. I really dislike liars. I mean, the one thing that I will not tolerate in business is a liar. If I find out somebody's lying, I'm not gonna work with them ever, because I'm not trying to put myself in a situation where I'm always trying to watch my back. If I put myself into a business and I'm making all this money, a lot of these liars, they're also schemers. They're gonna start scheming. Oh man, how can I reach into this man's pocket to take a little bit more of his money? They don't care that it took me 15 years. They don't care that I work 15 hours a day, that I work 7 days a week. They don't care about any of that stuff. All they see is me making money. And they're gonna think, oh man, well, how do I reach my hand into this man's pocket and take some of the money that he's making? A lot of these liars, they also scheme like that. And they also scheme, they also go, oh, well, how can I, one way or another, they almost always, they try and scheme up a way to reach into my pocket. They don't care that I have to work balls to the wall 7 days a week. They don't care about that. They don't care about that at all. All they want is the results. They don't want to do any of the work. They don't care that it took me 15 years. And so that's why I don't like working with liars, and that's why I will not work with a liar. If I find a person lying, that's boom. I will burn the bridge instantaneously. Never work with them again. And so, I'll probably, in the future, I'll work with somebody else. I've got other people that I can work with, and I'll keep, until I find an honest man, I'll keep looking. But the honest people are out there, honest people are out there, and you just got to look around for them. But that's it for me today, YouTube. Y'all have a good one.